Hello and welcome to Dr. VGP Talk Show. Hello and welcome to Dr. VGP Talk Show that reaches 42 million viewers, including 2 million in North America. Today, our star featured guest is a person known for his grit and determination and tenacity. We've become a successful entrepreneur today as the CEO of Cableteque, headquartered in Los Angeles. Meet a dynamic entrepreneur who's transforming the landscape of artificial intelligence in the manufacturing industry. His heroes are Kobe Bryant, Elon Musk, and his mother Ruth, who he describes full of heart. Come, discover and find out and hear how a successful entrepreneur has founded his new venture, innovative Cableteque, all at the age of 51 years young. Arik Vrobel. Welcome to Dr. VGP's podcast, Dr. VGP's talk show that reaches 42 million subscribers, including 2 million across North America. Today, our featured star guest is a successful entrepreneur, a person you should know, who is creating waves across America and beyond. Meet Arik Vrobel. Welcome, Arik, to our Dr. VGP podcast show. Thank you so much for joining us all the way from Los Angeles this afternoon.
Thank you, Dr. Vijay. I'm excited to be here with you.
Great. As you will be aware, Arik is the Chief Operating Officer and founder of a wonderful, exciting AI optic. He's going to explain about his company, Cableteque. Arik Vrobel came here to America as a 10-year-old kid from Yagane, Israel. Did I get the name right?
Close. It's called Yavne.
Yavne.
Yes.
So, Arik, tell us about your growing up years and what made you choose and become what you are today.
So, we moved here with my family. I was 10 years old. And over the following 3 or 4 years, my family moved around a lot. My father was a mechanical engineer, and he was trying to settle for the right job and the right fit. When I was 15 years old, he actually lost his job and was pretty hopeless. He didn't know what to do, and he was looking to buy a company. He found this company, a small company called Elcom Systems, and he decided to buy this company, mortgage everything we had as a family, and take a risk and follow the American dream. And early on in my teens, I needed to join him and help him make this company successful. And after I did that while going to school to UCLA for my education, and after graduating, I needed to join my father at this company and help him build a successful business. Several years later, I took over the company and built it into one of the most successful wire harness companies in the aerospace domain. And it continued to grow and build wire harness product until we sold it 3 years ago.
It's wonderful. You just heard 51-year-old young, energetic Arik talk about his successful journey, and at 15 years, how his father's circumstances changed the whole trajectory in life to become a successful entrepreneur. Arik, could you tell our viewers what do you mean by wire harnesses in the aerospace industry?
Yeah.
And I think you occupy the domain there today, so tell us what that is all about.
Certainly, Vijay. So a lot of people don't know about wire harnesses. I like to say that wire harnesses are the central nervous system of all technology platform. Wire harnesses are used in cars, in planes, in satellites, in boats, in industrial equipment, and they're basically the connector. They connect between sensors and power and compute in all of these systems. They're very, very critical to the successful operations of any technology platform.
So you just heard Arik Vrobel telling us defining what wire harnesses is. It's the central nervous system, the CNS of all technical platforms. Having said that, Arik, what inspired you to create Cableteque, and how does your vision for the company extend beyond the electrical wire harness industry, which you just described?
Great question. So, as I was saying, while I was at Elcom, we were building some of the world's most critical products for many of the world's biggest companies, whether in aerospace or in automotive. And one of the things we consistently had to deal with was that our customers were asking us to manufacture products that were poorly designed, but yet we had to almost interpret and figure out what they wanted us to build and do it right, and do it quickly and do it efficiently and cost competitively. And so as we were scaling up our business, we were looking at what challenges we were facing. And a big part of those challenges was the quality of the data, of the design data that our customers were providing to us. Now, our customers, again, largest companies in the world, had the best engineers and really the best engineering tools. And I was wondering to myself, how could it be that we were being asked to manufacture product that was in some cases only partially designed? And we investigated it very thoroughly, and we found that this is just a wide domain problem, and not just in wire harnesses. It's a gap that we see in a lot of verticals that are being transitioned for manufacturing from the OEMs, the original equipment manufacturers, to their suppliers. So after selling my business, Elcom, and taking a few months off to figure out really what is the next thing for me, as you said, I was 48 at the time. I wasn't ready to retire, even though I could.
You have a whole half your life ahead of you.
I have a whole half or more
Yes,
to go. And so I thought, okay, what's a big enough problem that I can solve that isn't just something that's going to make me successful, but something that's going to make the broader industry successful. And I saw this as sort of the weak link in manufacturing.
The quality of the design.
The quality of the design, the transfer, we call it the fidelity, the transfer of the design details from the engineer, the concept, to the manufacturing. There's a huge gap what it means is companies need to have tribal knowledge, like human knowledge about what's intended, not what is asked. And that's always subject to interpretation. There's lack of consistency, and there's just a general delay and sort of an iterative process of manufacturing before we get it just right, just what the designer wanted. And I felt that we could create a technology, sort of a data layer that bridges between the engineering tools, we call them CAD, computer-aided design tools, and the manufacturing processes that are typically used by manufacturers and suppliers around the world.
So today, Arik, you're bridging the gap and trying to make the data layer and improving the computer-aided design aspect of which is very much needed in the wire harnesses industry. Yeah. Now, how do you see AI and ML technologies reshaping the industries at large? And what do you see the unique role that your company, Cableteque, play in this transformation?
Yeah, so first of all, as a disclaimer, I'm not a data scientist or a machine learning expert. I am a businessman and an entrepreneur that sees opportunities and typically looks at how we can simplify problems and bring practical solutions to people and industry.
You described yourself so well. You just heard Arik Vrobel say he's a businessman and an entrepreneur who finds technical problems and then creates practical solutions.
Yes. Often I see that people sort of get stuck in a complexity challenge and really my approach is, what's the most simple process that we can utilize to solve the problem, and let's start there.
Excellent. We'd love to hear, because everybody is talking about artificial intelligence and how it's going to transform the world. And I'd like to know the unique role Cableteque is playing, because you described wired harnesses as the CNS of all technical platforms.
Yes. So I see AI as an enabler. I think that, first of all, it enables expert people, smart people to get a lot of data quickly. We need them. We need the expertise to look at the data and make sure that what we're getting is what's needed, right? That the models are not hallucinating, that we're getting, we call it deterministic. So specific data for a specific problem, and really it's the unique answer, not a creative answer. So I think it's an enabler, but it's also an equalizer. Wow. So in the past, our domain, wire harnesses or manufacturing domain, is dominated by very, very large mega companies with tens of thousands of people, a lot of resources, a lot of engineers, because, as I said, they need to almost predict what is it that the OEMs are asking them to do. So there's a lot of resources being deployed there. AI is equalizing and democratizing this technical domain. It's going to give opportunity to smaller companies, to emerging companies, to have access to the same data, the same information.
Absolutely.
And then it's really going to make an opportunity for new emerging companies to succeed where only large companies have been successful. Like the automotive suppliers are really large suppliers, And with the use of AI and data analysis tools, I believe many other incumbent suppliers will be able to support this kind of domain.
You just heard Arik saying AI, artificial intelligence, is an enabler and an equalizer, and it gives you the reasons. And it's why I like the way you said it's democratizing technical domains and giving access to all. It's not just hitherto you have the large companies having get most of the space, but AI would give everyone, even the smaller companies, a role to play. Having said that, Arik, in what ways do you believe innovations and innovators like Cableteque can influence global economic trends today, particularly in manufacturing and blockchain supply chains?
Yeah, so companies like Cableteque and others that are working on this domain are helping simplify the work transfer and production processes moving from one region to another. I remember a number of years back when the war in Ukraine started. At that time, a lot of automotive suppliers were based in Ukraine, and they needed to quickly move their manufacturing plants to other regions, other Eastern European regions, South America, India, and so on. And they really struggled to move production from one site to another. And that is because there was a certain domain knowledge, data knowledge that those people in that particular plant had, and it wasn't well documented or even understood. What my company, Cableteque, enables, and others in the domain, is to standardize the data to sort of bridge between the design, right, the model-based data, and the manufacturing processes, so that when you move from one factory to another, or use multiple factories, or have a change in personnel in a specific factory, they still see the same information in a consistent and simplified way. And so it enables and supports quick transfer, quick transition, no matter what happens in a geopolitical or macroeconomic world that we're dealing with now.
You know, it just shows I think the success of your leadership style. You're calm, composed, organized, with a sharp intellectual, insight. Now, what is your leadership philosophy, and how do you integrate it with the rapidly evolving technological landscape?
That's a great question. So my leadership philosophy has changed a lot in the last 5 years. I would say in the first part of my career, I was leading by example. I wanted to show my team that, we've got to be the grittiest, we've got to work hardest.
Could you repeat that? Got to be the greediest? I love that.
Grittiest, not greediest.
I'm sorry.
Gritty, right?
Gritty.
Like
tough,
work hard, tough.
Okay.
Don't give up. And I was there with my team. I had a great team through the years. But it was really a very strong work culture, and it was very demanding. I was certainly a demanding leader, and still am. I have high expectations of people. But my leadership evolved to becoming a lot more inclusive, to sort of a top-down approach. I want to inspire my people, make sure they understand the vision and the purpose, that they feel it themselves, and then give them the freedom to execute in their own way, and be there as a support. Really be there when they need me, when they're struggling with something. But my role and my goal is to set the North Star, the compass about where we're going, why we're doing it. The why is really important. And then get out of the way. There's a lot of people that know how to do the how better than I do, and I want to empower them. Our team today at Cableteque is fully remote. We've got people in the US, people in the UK and in Europe, people in Eastern Europe. We've got a great team in India. and most of our people are working remote from their home. And the only way for this to be successful is that we trust our people, we collaborate, and we give them the tools they need to be successful in the way that, really inspires them to do so and contribute.
It's so heartening and delighted to hear your work philosophy and your leadership style, top to down, how you're so focused, and at the same time, you give the employees the chance to be creative and innovative with focus and direction. Now, in such a setting, it looks like a Cableteque, an ideal company to work with such a hard, gritty, like you said, driven boss and a leader, a CEO. At this point of time, with the projects you're having, are you looking, if some of our viewers or others are interested in investing into Cableteque, is there an opportunity?
Yeah, that's a great question. So the answer is yes. We are at the stage where we are looking for investors that would be passionate about our mission and our goal to change how manufacturing is done across the world and to support that mission. I funded the entire funding seed of Cableteque with my own money.
Fantastic.
And I did that because really I wanted to de-risk the technology. I wanted to prove to myself first that what we're doing is possible, and only then open it up to outside investors. And so we are at this phase. We've got customers. We have a huge market need for what we do. And a lot of small and big companies are asking for our help and our support. And we are now scaling our work. And as we scale, we want to bring on the right partners and investors to help us make an impact.
Excellent. Arik, now we met at the IPO summit at NASDAQ in New York a few weeks ago. Now, do you believe that companies like you, tech companies, when is the right time they should go public? Did Elcom go public?
Elcom was never public.
Good.
And we always also funded our business from our own capital and our own, we call it working capital. But I think that the need to broaden our tools and our impact across not just many companies, but different industries. We're focusing on wire harnesses today, frankly, because it's a very critical industry. It's a very complex industry, lots of variables. And once we solve the problem for wire harnesses, we can do the same for many other, we call them under-digitized manufacturing domains. So as we want to grow our business, both vertically and horizontally, we will need access to markets and capital that I believe an IPO is one of the best ways to reach and to grow that impact.
Good. So what broader societal changes that you anticipate and as industries adopt more AI-driven strategies and solutions, and how can we prepare for them?
Yeah, so it's a good question. What we see currently in industry is actually a resistance and a closure to technology tools. As I said, the industries, many industries are relying on people to do the work. And there's sort of a gap as new engineers and new people are coming into industry. They don't have the knowledge or the ability or the desire to do a lot of the manual work that's being done today. And so what I see, first of all, with this younger generation is an eagerness to do things their own way. And I think that the tools like AI are certainly going to enable them to learn faster and to get access to data and information quicker. And of course, we see a lot of macroeconomic and geopolitical pressures and change. Countries are sort of closing off to internal manufacturing. And certainly business is reshoring, moving to its own geographies. And as that happens, there's a huge change in supply chains. And we need tools that help facilitate, again, both knowledge, communication, upstream, downstream, within organizations, and really create a more collaborative framework. And it's all about collaboration.
You hit the nail on the head. You're right. We need the AI tools you correctly described. Now, how have recent shifts in the global trade policies and tariffs we're all hearing about impacted Cableteque's operations, and how are you navigating these challenges?
So another great question, Vijay. For us, it's a great tailwind. We are certainly, our customers are very much impacted by the tariffs and the changes in manufacturing regions and policies. And they are being asked by their customers to do a lot of analysis, to respond quickly. As we know, policy is changing almost daily. And we are creating a tool that bridges the engineering, the manufacturing, and the supply chain domain with a lot of data, a lot of knowledge of that data that can help suppliers and OEMs across the industry perform quick analysis and have the confidence when they're making decisions that they've got all of the data at their fingerprints so that they're making the right decisions and respond effectively. So very much we see this. It's a huge challenge for industry, but we see our tool as an enabler tool to manage that challenge.
Arik, you come across as a very focus-driven CEO with goals, and you have the solutions and very impactful in what you're telling me. And you've enlightened us. How does Cableteque, your company, approach global partnerships and localization, especially in the political volatile or economically shifting regions like Ukraine and China?
So we are, first of all, philosophy is all about collaborating and helping one another. And we do that very much with, we see that with business partners. So whereas many companies are closed off and look at other companies in their industry as competitors, we look at them as partners. And in fact, as one of the youngest companies in our industry, we've already created many strategic partnerships with domain leaders.
Great, excellent.
And they see the value. It's exciting that they see the value of this new tool to reach a broader market for them.
Do you see Cableteque having some partnerships or competing for some in India and in China? Do you see opportunities there for your company?
We certainly we see a lot of opportunity in all regions. We have a lot of work going on in India. This is our largest employee pool, and we've been so impressed with the knowledge base and the work ethic of the Indian population as a whole. And we've seen many companies move their manufacturing a lot from China into India. I think India presents huge opportunities for manufacturing globalization and really the next phase of that. And we certainly see, again, our tool and our applications as enabling the knowledge transfer between the OEMs to their supply partner, moving from one region to another. So we look forward to partnerships in India very much.
Wonderful. You just heard Arik Vrobel, the CEO of Cableteque, talking and enlightening us about the fascinating way his company is changing the manufacturing processes with firms to remain competitive and also agile. Now, from my understanding of what you just told me, I feel that Cableteque provides the essential for all manufacturing firms to remain competitive and agile. Now, I'm sure our viewers would like to know what's inside this 51-year-old agile, fit, vibrant personality. So we'll have this section as we close out as a rapid fire to a little bit about your personality. I mean, you're smart, you're soft, debonair. So we'll do a quick rapid fire question. Arik, if you were to write an autobiography, what would you call it?
Wow, that's a great question. I would say never-ending growth.
Wow, beautifully well said. On the spot, he said, never-ending growth. The next question is, you're so vibrant, you're so young. At years, you've established so much and done so much. What is your work day like? Tell us exactly from time you get up to sleep. We want to know what's the success. You're so calm, so enlightened, so fit. Go ahead.
So what I pride myself about my workday is my balance. And again, that's very, very different than in my prior years. So my routine is I wake up whenever I wake up.
What time?
No alarm.
No time.
It usually is around 6 in the morning, but rarely an alarm. I'll do some physical things. I'll spend 30 minutes stretching and sort of doing my physical routine. Then I spend around 30 minutes meditating.
Wow.
I focus on meditating every morning.
Do you follow a guru or?
So I really enjoy Dr. Joe Dispenza.
Dr. Joe Dispenza.
Dr.
Yes.
Joe Dispenza.
Tell us about him.
Well, Dr. Joe is, I think what makes him unique for me is he's been able to sort of distill Eastern philosophies that have been going on for thousands of years into a way that from sort of my natural emotion or responses to things. And that's why I like to meditate in the morning, really to disconnect from the day and to start anew with sort of a new energy that I created for myself.
So this, your mentor, Dr. Joe Dispenza's meditation process really has helped you to evolve into a more successful entrepreneur, a better human being. Could you delve more on it?
100%. 100%.
And you were telling me something about how the energy, intellectual energy, how it goes, draws people you are thinking about to your fold. Could you tell us that? It's very exciting.
Yeah. I mean, I would say in simple terms, it's called manifesting.
Manifesting,
right?
Okay.
So I really have been enjoying the process of manifesting, which is really to tap into a future that I want to create for myself without really focusing on what it is, just focusing on the energy, focusing on how it feels as if it's happened. And then miraculously, these things happen in different ways, sort of like meeting you.
Yes,
right?
Indeed, very indeed.
Yes.
Now, this is very interesting. Dr. Joe Dispenza, when we were having a conversation earlier with Arik, he was telling us about manifesting and the energy, how it circles, draws you. And it's very interesting. And it's proven here that we both hit it off and he's on our show. And hopefully this is beginning of a great journey for him and for us together into this, exploring this AI space and the aerospace and the defense and everything else. Now, tell me, if you got 3 wishes from God, Almighty God, what that you will be able to do, and what would those 3 wishes be, which will it benefit you personally or the world? I just want to know, if somebody is granting you 3 wishes, the Lord is granting you, what would the 3 wishes be? What would your 3 wishes be?
Okay, that's a great question. So. Certainly, from a business standpoint, right, from a professional standpoint, I am wishing that we can really make the impact on industry that we are so focused on making, and really being that primary tool and data layer that helps amazing technology companies execute better for humanity, right? Create the products that are needed by humanity. So, a big wish of mine is to impact humanity in a positive way. That when I am done with my journey, people will say, he wasn't not just a good person or a good business person, but he had an impact and he shaped industry. I'm a family person, so yes. I really wish to continue this amazing family connection that I have with my wife and my kids, and that, of course, they grow up for their potential, and certainly that we as people align ourselves and work together and collaborate with one another, and that we're bond. By the way, this is why we chose our color purple. I was mentioning to your colleague earlier that it's the combination of red and blue, right?
Great.
Our world is so polarized, so we see ourselves as a connection of the polarization between industry and people.
You just heard tech entrepreneur Vrobel talk about his desires to leave footprints on this world, on technology, and impactful work, what he's doing. And he talked about being a family person, his vision. I love the way the analogy of purple, which is royal, a combination of red and blue, being bipartisan. And having said that, Arik, when you were growing up, I just want to have an insight. Did you read? Did you have a favorite author? Or were you involved in mathematics and puzzles? What engaged your attention from 10 to 15 years? Just for our viewers and my own thought. See, what is in the making of a great business entrepreneur?
I would say I wasn't, special or unique in this way. I was, 10 to 15-year-old doing normal things as any 10 to 15-year-old. I didn't love school. I, wanted to do the least possible to focus on school. But I did very well in my school. I got the grades I needed to succeed. But I was just a curious kid. I liked to do a lot of different things. I would change my hobbies quite often, and sort of change who were the people that I learned from. I was just a curious
Just a normal kid growing up in Reno, Nevada, where you started and then landed up in Los Angeles. Now, today I think you're on the way to Milwaukee. You're a keynote speaker for a great convention. It's called the American Wire Harnesses Convention, where 5,000 delegates are addressing them. Tell us about that. And tell us how Cableteque is impacting and what's the purpose, and what would be your message to fellow wire harnesses in the manufacturing industry?
Yes, so we are, as you said, heading out to Milwaukee for a conference called EWPTE, Electrical Wire Processing Technology Expo, which starts tomorrow, actually. And it's really a gathering of many of the domain leaders, from OEMs to manufacturers to suppliers. We are starting on behalf of the industry an innovation committee. So we are bringing really my goal individually and for my company and for the industry as we're seeing this onshoring and reshoring movement, is to find the innovation, the tools and the processes to do a better job as an industry, react quicker, scale up faster, and support the greater opportunity that we have as an industry. So looking forward to that.
Great. Now, if you're given an opportunity from the past to the present to take 3 people out for dinner, who would they be? Something like your mentors, heroes for our viewers to understand the successful Arik Vrobel a little better.
Okay, that's another great question, Vijay. So the first person that I would like to join my table is Kobe Bryant,
The basketball player.
the basketball player who passed away a number of years ago. And Kobe really was one of my inspirations for grit, right? It was all about do everything that needs to be done to be successful, stop at nothing, work harder than everyone, and and it's all about winning, right? And sacrifice everything for winning. And at a certain time of my life, it completely resonated for me, and I still think that that's a very important trait and outlook. The next person is Elon Musk.
Wow, excellent.
And I know that this is not a popular name nowadays in all circles, but I have had the pleasure and the benefit of supporting SpaceX, which is an incredible company that was formed by Elon Musk. And I saw what can be done by a small group of people that have purpose and passion and are not afraid of making mistakes and taking risks. And I think that that's what all industry should be doing. And that's an inspiration for what I'm doing today. It's that, I'm taking on huge companies and sort of very ingrained systems and processes. And I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid of failing. For one, I just want to make an impact, and I know we're going to do that. And I think that seeing what Musk did with SpaceX and other companies and how he's been able to shape industries has been certainly an inspiration, a professional inspiration for me. And the last person, and I don't want to get emotional, is my mother.
Okay.
My mother passed away 25 years ago, and she was all about Ruth. She was all about heart and connecting to people and making them feel welcome and supported. And so a lot of what I do today in my life is about heart, opening up my heart, and really connecting to people in that way. And I'm sure that was something I learned from my mom.
What you just heard, Arik Vrobel, the most successful tech entrepreneur, talk about three people he would like to take out for dinner. Kobe Bryant, who you all know, Elon Musk needs no introduction, and about his mother, Ruth. And I feel 25 years she passed, but he holds his mother, Ruth, deeply because of her heart, a lady of love. And that resonates with me so much. And I think a mother's love, and we are coming on a cusp of Mother's Day now, and Arik Vrobel, a tech giant who walks along shoulders, who worked with SpaceX, says the importance, though his mother Ruth passed away 25 years ago, she is there looking and caring for him. Having said that, Arik, you touched an emotional chord on my part too, and it's been such an enlightening conversation. I think you should be a leader, you should be a teacher, write books, so you can inspire the young people throughout the world with your story. You're very young, you got a whole life ahead of you. And how will you describe yourself in 3 words? Describe the Arik Vrobel who's making wire harnesses great again, who wants to leave impact with footprints in the world, above all with the heart of Ruth.
Passion, purpose, and growth, right? Learning all the time, just learning.
You just heard a very successful entrepreneur from Los Angeles saying he describes himself with passion, purpose, and growth. Wonderful. And his color of his company is purple, a combination of red and blue. And he has got his strength and inspiration from his mother, Ruth, who's all about heart. Having said that, Arik, our viewers are wanting, what is the message you have for them? Concluding message, whatever you want to tell them, put them on fire, make wire harnesses great again, tell them what they should do. You're going to hear and concluding this most enlightening podcast, Arik Vrobel is going to tell you the truths of success.
I would say embrace change, embrace technology, see the opportunities that are out there in the world. We're in a world of abundance. It's all there for you. You just have to go out and get it and not be afraid of failure, and just trust that you will find the right path, each one of you. You will find the right path if you follow your heart.
Thank you so much, Arik Vrobel. It was one of the most enlightening podcasts to have you. Thank you for spending so much time with us and sharing your success, your insight, and your knowledge. We are grateful again for you for joining the podcast. And this will be the beginning of our journey to take you as a global tech entrepreneur so you can share your intelligence, your success, and your mother's philosophy of heart to the whole world. We are very grateful for you to joining us today.
Thank you, and thank you for your listeners for giving me the time. Enjoyed it very much.
Thank you.
Dear viewers, elevate your business to new heights and reach 35 million potential customers with Global Eye Digital. Contact us today at globaleyedigital@gmail.com or info@globaleyedigital.com. Let's take your business global.